Is Bitcoin mining dead? Rumors are spreading that Bitcoin miners are abandoning crypto for AI farming, chasing much bigger profits in the booming AI space. Is this the end of Bitcoin as we know it? In this video, I'm going to break down the shocking reality behind AI farming, and I'm going to reveal whether it's really the next big thing or not. You will be amazed and shocked by the results that I'm going to share in this video today. So let's dive in. Okay, are Bitcoin miners ditching crypto for AI farming? That is a big question that we are going to answer. And here are some of the rumors that have been spreading around. Here, these new articles. Bye bye Bitcoin, hello AI. Texas miners leave crypto for the next big wave. And with the next big wave, they're talking about riding the AI wave. And here is another article. Why so many Bitcoin mining companies are pivoting to AI? Interesting. And the Financial Times. Struggling Bitcoin miners seek deals with AI companies. Another article. How Bitcoin miners are leveraging AI post-halving. So all of these articles are talking about how Bitcoin miners are basically abandoning crypto in order to chase bigger profits in the booming AI space. But the question that we need to answer here is this a reality? Is this really true? Is this really happening right in front of our eyes right now? Or is this potentially journalists that are trying to get eyeballs because they know that right now when they put the keywords AI into a headline, they get more eyeballs, because right now everyone wants to be involved in the AI space. They want to read all of the juicy news about everything that's happening there, because AI is just such a big hype right now. It's a buzzword. But let's figure out which one of those it is going to be. First, we need to talk about the AI hype. So not that long ago, we saw the release of ChatGPT, which is something that is currently used by quite a lot of people. It was actually the fastest growing platform to hit 1 million users, 100 million active users. So here in this chart, you see months to get to 100 million global monthly active users. So Google Translate took 78 months, Uber 70 months, Telegram 61, Spotify 55, TikTok 9 months, and ChatGPT took only 2 months to hit 100 million monthly active users. And ChatGPT sparked something that we call the ChatGPT moment. The moment ChatGPT was released, there was an insane amount of hype around AI. Look, AI is not something new. I used to work in Silicon Valley between 2017, 2018, and a lot of the people around me were talking a lot about AI, were actively involved in AI. But this is the moment that AI really became something that was also tangible and understandable and usable for the average person. And this just sparked an insane amount of interest for AI. And as a result, NVIDIA stock started to increase, because NVIDIA is the company that is delivering the infrastructure for all of these artificial intelligence applications to run upon. More about that in a little bit. So NVIDIA stock shot up. It became one of the most valuable companies on the stock market. Another company, a Dutch company, actually ASML, which produces machines to create chips, computer chips, semiconductors, also shot up in value quite a lot. Taiwan Semiconductors, also a company that is involved in creating the super chips, creating the chips and the processors that are required for artificial intelligence. So these companies all became a lot more valuable because of all of the AI hype. And when you look at what companies and CEOs and leadership teams of companies are now talking about, well, 83% of companies claim that using AI or adopting some form of AI into their business strategy is one of their top priorities. Everyone wants to ride the AI bandwagon. That is what is happening right now. All of the software tools that I'm using now all have some kind of AI feature which they have integrated in the past few months. Maybe that sounds familiar to you too. and all of these companies that haven't yet want to add an AI feature or expand their existing AI capabilities because they want to put the AI buzzword on their sales page, on their landing page, in their sales pitches. So yeah, right now there's a lot of hype around AI, and it's definitely a growing industry. And the backbone of this industry is this NVIDIA chip. It's actually a set of chips. So this set of chips works together. I believe this is the NVIDIA H100 chip, which is now sort of the industry standard for processing AI applications. So they can really process a lot of data very quickly. Imagine if you are running ChatGPT, it needs to very quickly perform a lot of logical calculations and make a lot of connections in a very short time and then give you something that is very valuable. So it needs a lot of computing power in order to do that. And NVIDIA, actually, they were a gaming company not that long ago, or actually they were creating mostly graphics cards for gamers. And the CEO of NVIDIA, at one point, he realized that there was also another very big use case for their technology, which is artificial intelligence, which was still a very early industry the moment that he decided that they should focus their research and development on empowering artificial intelligence. And they took a very big and bold bet a long time ago. They invested a lot of money to research this, to develop this, and now they created the industry-leading chip for the AI revolution. And this is also the reason why NVIDIA stock went up so much, because yeah, all of these AI applications almost need to run on top of this architecture. And now there are data centers full with these devices. Now let's talk about the concept of AI farming. This is potentially a very lucrative business model if you believe these articles that I just shared here. All of these articles that are talking about why Bitcoin miners are abandoning crypto and are pivoting towards AI mining. Now let's discuss this business model in a bit more detail. And if you've enjoyed watching this video so far, if you think that this is a nice logical breakdown, then make sure to hit the like button, because I put a lot of effort into making these videos for you and helping you to understand very complicated topics, but in a very simple and logical way so that hopefully everyone can understand it. And if you haven't done so yet, also make sure to hit the subscribe button, because I'm putting out regular videos to help you to make sense about what is happening in the crypto market and to help you to get an edge in the market, to get an advantage, and to help you to position yourself for maximum profits this cycle. And not only this cycle, also next cycles, of course. All right, let's talk about the concept of AI farming. So I created this schematic. So let's say that you are an investor and you just invested a lot of money in order to buy a stack of NVIDIA processing units. So this batch of chips will probably cost you a few $100,000, and you need a few of these. So it's a very costly thing. You're probably going to spend a few $100,000, probably even a few million to get your hands on some of these chips. The waiting times are also quite long, so you'll have to wait 2 or 3 months in order to get your hands on these things, and then you need to install them in a data center, get access to cheap energy. You need to have the technical know-how to manage all of that. But let's say that you do understand how to do all of that. Then the whole concept of AI farming is that you rent out this computing power to AI software or applications that want to offer AI functionality to their users. In this case, I have used the example of 𝗗𝗏𝗀𝗶 Corporation. That is a hypothetical company that is offering AI to its customers. So in order to offer their AI application, they need to run on this infrastructure. So the whole point of AI farming is that I, as a business owner or as an investor and owner of these chips, I rent out processing capacity to this company. So I build this company for using my processing units. So I rent out computing power, they give me money. So as an investor, I make an investment in this, and after deducting my cost, I have a profit. And this company, they need to buy my computing power, and as a result, they can provide a service to their customers and they earn a subscription. So this is the whole promise of AI farming. As an investor, I buy basically computing power, which I rent out to companies that want to offer AI to their customers, and I bill them for this. And I want to get a big, I want to make my profit as big as possible in this process. So this is the concept of AI farming. Now, what are the benefits for miners? Why would they look at something like this? Well, Bitcoin miners, like any business model, it's always nice to have a little bit of diversification and to not be reliant on just one single source of income. I'm pretty sure you've read the self-development books where they say like every millionaire has 7 to 8 different income streams. I think, yeah, as a investor, as a business owner, as a person, you should also diversify your investments, because the crypto market is quite cyclical. It goes up, it goes down a lot, it's very volatile. So if you're dependent on just one income stream, which is heavily dependent on crypto, yeah, then you're running the risk that during some periods of time, you're not going to have a lot of income, or maybe even a negative income, which means that you need to put some extra money down because it's the bottom of the bear market, for example. And then also for miners is interesting because they already have an infrastructure. They already have ways to get cheap electricity, and they already have the technical know-how to run mining farms, which is almost similar to running a data center. So for them, there are a lot of benefits in order to venture out into a new branch where they could earn a nice extra revenue stream. But here is the big but. There are a few important components that are missing. If you want to run an application, a few things are required. Number one, you need computing power. So this is what we've just discussed. You can get computing power by buying these NVIDIA chips. And as a company, you can rent those chips from external vendors if you don't have those yourself. But we live in the age of big data. ChatGPT is trained on a lot of data. They have scraped all of Twitter, all of X, all of the YouTube transcripts, the whole World Wide Web. They have basically scraped and indexed and put it in a database, and they've trained ChatGPT to learn based on all of that information. So imagine that you need to store that volume of information. Well, you also need storage capacity. So you need servers with storage space that can hold that much data. So when we're talking about building a data center with only computing capabilities, then you are missing this part that is also vital to your effective operation of your application. But you can rent that externally. We're going to talk about that in a bit. And then the final thing is networking. So if you are renting your data from or if you're storing your data elsewhere, so let's say that your company, 𝗗𝗄𝗃 company, wants to rent your computing power, and they are storing their data in another server, which is all the way on the other side of the world. Let's say literally you are based in the US and the company is in Singapore where they're holding their data, or the other way around. Then there's a lot of distance in between. So every time you're sending data from your storage devices to your computing devices to run all of these calculations and then send them back to store the result, there will be a lot of time lost in just the data transfer in between your compute and your storage units. So that is the third component, the networking. So ideally you want these three components, or you want your compute and your storage very close to each other so that you don't lose a lot of time transferring data in between. So when we are looking at AI farming, and when you see all of these headlines of AI data centers, nobody talks about these, how to solve these other two issues, storage and networking. Well, let's quickly zoom out. Most applications right now are built on these platforms. Amazon Web Services, which is basically a cloud platform by Amazon. They've got a lot of very big data centers all across the world where you can rent servers, you can rent storage space, you can rent servers in different locations all across the world so that they're closer to customers or closer to wherever your data is stored, and you don't lose a lot of time to move stuff around. Or you also have Google Cloud, which is also another platform upon which you can build your applications. Basically, Google has a lot of data centers around the world, and you can use their infrastructure. Then you have Microsoft Azure, which is the data center of Microsoft. Again, you can rent space there to build your applications and to run them. Amazon, Google, and Microsoft are some of the largest companies in the world. Basically, all of those data centers, in the past, they were using it for themselves. And at one point, they realized, like, we already have the knowledge, the expertise to build all of these data centers and to maintain these critical applications. Why don't we use that knowledge and we rent it out to external people that want to build their applications on our infrastructure? And that's how these massive businesses emerge. And now they're some of the most profitable business units of Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Here you see that Amazon is actually the market leader, with 31% of the applications are currently being built on AWS, 25% are built on Azure, 11% is built on Google Cloud. So these are the top biggest platforms that are offering basically different combinations of compute, storage, and networking. Now, what is the dilemma? When you are building on these platforms, so the big question is, first of all, why should you make use of an AI data center which offers these computing units instead of just building on these platforms which have everything? They have the big data centers, they have many different modules, they have all of the building blocks that you can run a very big and profitable application on. Why would you look for an external solution? Well, the dilemma is it's very easy to build on these platforms because they have everything. They're like Lego blocks, and anything you need at every capacity, they can offer it to you. But the downside of this is that these platforms tend to be quite expensive. So you need to connect your credit card and they will bill you for all of the usage. And the bills can run up quite rapidly. And the problem is that all of these companies that are building on top of these cloud providers, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud, they are all shocked by how high their bills are, and they're constantly looking for ways to lower their bills, to lower their costs, because as a business, you need to make a profit, so you want to lower your cost. Also, there is something that we call vendor lock-in. So these platforms want to make sure that you're building on their cloud and you're not going to external vendors for different components of your application. So they have implemented very small, clever things that will inhibit you from building on other infrastructure, like, for example, a third-party AI data center. Also, they don't want to work well with other platforms because they want to keep you on their platform, because the bigger your application becomes, the more compute, storage, and networking components you use on their platform, the more they can bill you. So they make it very difficult for you to move your application over to somewhere else or to connect it with external infrastructure options. So let's say that you are storing all of your data, your big data. So what I mean is, whenever you're training an AI model, you need to scrape a lot of data, or maybe all of your company data, your customer data. Maybe you have a social media platform where you're putting all of your user data. I don't know, whatever data, you have a big data source, a big data pool, and you need to store it somewhere. So because our AI farm doesn't have storage capabilities, you need to store it elsewhere. And the most logical place is to store it on one of these top 3 biggest platforms. So your data is stored on Amazon Web Services, and you are making use of our computing farm for all of these AI computations. Well, whenever you type a prompt, let's say on ChatGPT, like write me a PDF about how to train my dog not to pee in my house, and then it will have to pull data from the data lake or the big data that is stored in your application. but it's outside of the AI computing farm. So it needs to send a request. Hey, I need this data in order to run my calculations. And then your data will be sent so that the AI model can run the calculations, and then it will be sent back. So there is a lot of data that is going to move in between these two locations. And the thing that AWS has done, so Amazon Web Services, is whenever you are requesting data and they're sending data outside of their platform, they charge you money. And when you need to send large volumes of data in and out of AWS or all of these other cloud platforms, then they're going to charge you a lot of money. And this is something that they have built in to lock in people that they cannot make use of other external solutions in order to bring down the cost. Because the cost reductions that you can gain from using an external AI farm compared to building on the platform themselves gets diminished by all of the high cost of just sending data back and forward. So it's very expensive to do this. So my conclusion is that for now, at least, I have done my research. I've dived deep into this situation. I've been on calls with engineers, on people that have studied AI at Stanford, some of my old buddies from electronic engineering at university, and we've discussed this extensively. And my conclusion is that right now, AI farming is not a workable model. And I believe that this is a product of a bigger AI boom. And here on my screen, you see the chart of the dot-com boom, which we saw in the early 2000s, where everything that was related to the internet had such a big hype. People wanted to throw their money at it. All the newspaper articles and headlines were all about internet companies and how they broke records and how much funding they got. Some of the examples for Cosmo.com raised 250 million, and then they went out of business after 3 years. Webfan, an online grocery delivery platform, it IPO'd, so it went live on the stock market. You could buy their shares, and it went bankrupt in 2001. Boo.com launched in 1999, went bankrupt the year after. So the point that I'm trying to make is every once in a while we see a new revolutionary technology entering the market, and there's a lot of hype, especially now that we've seen this ChatGPT moment. People want to get involved in AI because they see the growth potential of AI. And I do believe a lot in the technology of AI, but I also believe that right now, left and right, businesses are spinning off that have no really economic viability. So you need to be very careful, and also about journalists that just want to ride the AI hype because they could get bigger eyeballs on a news article because it has the keywords AI. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I hope that it was very helpful for you, that you've learned a lot. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. We've covered quite a lot of complex material. Hopefully I was able to break it down in a very simple and easy to understand format. Let me know in the comments below what were your biggest insights or what were your biggest lessons. I am personally definitely going to keep an eye on AI farming. I love to keep a pulse on the market because I am a Bitcoin miner. I'm always actively looking to expand the business, add new income streams, but of course the research needs to match the fact that it's actually going to be profitable or not. So yes, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.